We're winging it. We're winging it hard. Hey guys, I'm here with Nat, and we've got some awesome conversation coming from her, and I'm just going to be here nodding my head. Welcome.
Thank you. Thanks, guys. It's nice to see you again.
Yeah. So what's our topic, Nat?
So we're going to talk about immune health and sports performance.
Awesome.
And, how we can prevent you guys from getting sick. How we can stop you from having to have breaks from the gym because you're sick. Tristan gets to see all your faces more often.
That's true.
It's a win-win-win for everyone, really.
Absolutely.
Okay, so the immune system is really, really complex. So our immune system is made up of 21 different cells. They all have different functions. They all have multiple functions. They each have a minimum of 4 functions.
Yep.
So as you can imagine, 21 times 4, not going to do the maths, but that's
79.
That's close. So that's a lot of functions for the immune system, and so the immune system is really, really complex. And any time that our immune system is working and it's in go mode, that uses huge amounts of energy.
Yep.
As you can imagine, 21 different cells. That's us redirecting a lot of energy towards our immune system.
Yep.
So you can see that would therefore impact our sports performance, how much we can lift, our energy levels when we are training, all of that sort of thing. Because
and our immune system's it's fighting common colds and fighting disease and
every single day.
Yeah.
Every single day we're fighting little bacteria, we're fighting viruses, we're fighting worms. We all have worms for the record.
Really?
Yep.
Right.
We have parasites. We have all of these fun infections.
Wow.
We also have to fight off any cells in our body, so things like cancer and things like that. We have cancerous cells every day that our body are trying to get rid of.
Wow.
So our immune system works really, really hard. And part of that means that we have to give it the nutrients that it needs.
Yep.
We have to make sure that the other body systems that work with our immune system are really functioning well. And we need to make sure that we're doing the right things so that in turn we can do the best that we can for our bodies. Yeah, so
We've got a big job.
we do, don't we? We do. It sounds really complex.
It does.
The more, there's so much information that comes out about the immune system. So immunologists are working incredibly hard, and we don't fully understand everything that our immune system does.
Yeah.
However, we know it definitely works for most people. And our immune system, I like to think of a bit like a little army that's patrolling around inside of us and protecting us. It wants us to live.
Yeah.
Which is good. Good. Majority of the time it's really good. And that kind of leads me to when we do get sick, that's where inflammation comes in. And so inflammation comes in to protect our bodies, so it's basically like putting up a guard or a sand wall.
Yep.
And it's trying to protect our body by blocking a certain pathogen into an area in our body. And that's what inflammation is.
Sure.
And that's where we get the redness, we get the heat, we get the swelling, so sore throats right there and then.
Yeah.
That sort of thing. So we all want inflammation in small amounts because it's containing our immune system and those bugs to a certain area. However, we don't want chronic long-term inflammation, because that's where we lead to autoimmune disease and majority of other chronic diseases.
Right.
So we definitely want to keep our immune systems in check. We don't want them really lazy, lying in the barracks of that army. We also don't want really trigger-happy army, because that's not helpful for anyone.
No.
We don't need to react to absolutely everything. So it's about trying to keep our immune system as moderate as possible. Make sure that it's functioning optimally.
So how do we know if it's functioning optimally?
Well, I guess one of the ways that you can tell is that when it's really feeling ordinary, you'll get sick quite often. So if your army is lying in the barracks and not doing anything, you'll get sick constantly. So you'll have colds, runny noses, infections. You'll also kind of get any tummy bug going around. You know, there's people who get absolutely everything.
Yeah.
Everything.
Their immune system's just shot.
Yeah.
It's worn out.
Yeah, exactly. And that's that immune system lying in the barracks.
Mm-hmm.
And then you've got the other side where your immune system is really trigger happy. So you react to everything.
So what do you mean by that?
So that could be autoimmune disease, food intolerances. Yeah, that's pretty much it. You can kind of tell those people who are really kind of reactive, like you might get hives if you're in too cold an area or things like that.
Sure.
It's when your immune system's really, really overactive.
Yeah.
Quite often our immune system's really overactive in regards to hay fever as well, which we're in the season for at the moment.
Yeah.
And a lot of gut kind of stuff. So it'll just start reacting to things that it didn't previously react to.
Yeah.
So, ways,
Awesome.
yeah, ways that we can support our immune system and to try and get it to be a good army that's sometimes patrolling, sometimes getting rid of the bad guys, but also being able to rest and relax when it needs to as well.
Yeah.
Is that it's pretty much the basics, the 5 basics. So we want sleep, stress, gut health, good diet, and exercise, which you guys are already doing.
Yeah, we're doing that pretty good.
Exactly.
Maybe a little bit too good sometimes.
Yes, exactly. That was going to be my point, was that sometimes when we are feeling a bit ordinary and our body is telling us, like maybe that you can't lift as hard,
Yeah.
lift as heavy that day, or your energy's really struggling, then maybe that's the day that you back off a little bit.
Yeah.
And it doesn't mean that you don't do anything. There's definitely things you can do, like you might perform at 50% and go, okay, today's not the day.
Today's a light day.
Yeah, exactly. Or it might be that you go for a walk or you get some fresh air, that sort of thing for your immune system.
I think that's really tricky for a lot of people. It's, maybe they feel guilty for taking a day off, or they feel sluggish and tired, and they know that coming to the gym they might leave feeling more energized, but sometimes it's about weighing up that benefit and the cost.
Yeah, definitely. A lot of those times, a lot of people will say afterwards that they either sweated out whatever was happening, or they woke up the next morning and full on head cold.
Yeah, much worse.
Yeah, and then they're out for a few days and it kind of prolongs the amount of time it takes to recover.
Yeah.
So we want to try and work on listening to your body, and if your body's feeling pretty ordinary, then stop, have a break, reassess, and then come back in.
Sounds like a plan.
And then Tristan doesn't see you for 1 day instead of for 2 weeks.
Yeah.
Which is what we want. So we want to make sure that we're exercising correctly, making sure that we're also getting enough fresh air, because when we get fresh air we get sunlight, so we get vitamin D, we're getting lots of nutrients, we're also exposed to a lot more bugs. We're not inside, we're not getting recycled air through air conditioning.
So we want to get exposed to bugs.
Yes, the good ones. Well, all bugs are good, it's just at what levels are they not so good. So we want to make sure that we're getting a full exposure to the bacteria, and we're not getting the stagnant ones that are kind of living inside our houses.
Right.
So quite often, when springtime comes and you open up all the windows and you get all that fresh air in, we want to kind of cleanse the air and get rid of any stagnation that's kind of happening inside our house, or any bugs that are growing in there. And so by going outside, you're actually exposing yourself to fresh air. You're getting different bugs, because there are bugs outside. There's a lot out in nature, so it's about kind of getting those ones and getting exposed to lots and lots of different ones, because that's going to make our immune system stronger in the long term.
Yeah, great.
Yeah. Okay, back to, what did we say? Stress and sleep. So obviously stress is really important. We spoke about stress last time.
Yep.
Stress, when we're stressed, we start to take away from our normal bodily functions. So our body can't decipher between physical stress, emotional stress, financial stress, mental stress, your partner annoying you stress, all of those sort of things.
It can't tell the difference.
It can't tell the difference.
It just freaks out no matter what.
It just freaks out.
Right.
And that's it's there for a reason, and we've spoken about that, I think, last time. We talked about the lion in the room and things like that. So we want to make sure that our stress levels are kind of in check. And the reason for that is when we've got this chronic long-term stress, our body doesn't prioritise the bacteria that may cause the common cold. It's going to prioritise making sure that we're ready for that stressful event, because our body thinks that stressful event is more dangerous to us then that single bacteria that will multiply and end up being the common cold or a chest infection or something like that.
Sure.
So if we're, and you can see this quite often, so people who go on holidays and they go and they start to rest,
Yeah.
that's when they get sick.
Yeah.
And that's because their stress levels have been amplified for so long, and then when their immune system has the chance,
Yeah.
it kind of all falls in a heap.
There's no longer the pressure of work or the
Exactly.
stresses that commonly attack them. They get to relax and then bang, cold comes.
Exactly. So we want to make sure that, especially leading into Christmas, that no one gets sick. So keeping an eye on your stress levels.
Yeah.
And the simplest ways to do that is to have fun, which I think we spoke about last time.
Yep. Play a bit of down ball.
Exactly. Exactly. Doing things that you enjoy.
Bit of foosball maybe?
Bit of foosball, sure, why not? Stay tuned. Getting outside, having a good time, doing things that you enjoy that lower your stress levels.
Yeah.
So that's really, really important. Another thing that is really important.
I think that's why people come here.
Exactly.
Come for a good time, have a play.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Have lots of laughs, listen to Tristan's jokes.
Yeah, there's not many of them. Hey, I'm the joke.
No, not at all. So yeah, that's it.
Yeah.
Stress management can be as simple as just having fun.
And community is a big one too, isn't it?
Definitely, definitely. Spending time with people you love. Or it could be that you have like a rigid practice of yoga or meditation or something like that.
Yeah.
Some sort of mindfulness also assists. And then, so as we said, if you lower your stress levels, then your immune system has the opportunity to work. Because when our stress levels are really high, our immune system isn't the priority. So we're putting the priority back onto our immune system and our normal functioning of our body.
Mm-hmm.
The next thing, which kind of leads into the stress, is sleep. And generally when we're highly stressed, our sleep is impaired also. So we want to make sure that our sleep, we get the optimal amount of sleep. And for most adults, that's between 7 and 9 hours, but everyone's different. So we need to make sure that we're getting the right amount of sleep. And a good way to tell if you're getting the right amount of sleep is if you wake up and you feel refreshed. Which a lot of people can't say yes to, unfortunately.
No.
No. So we need to make sure that we're getting the right amount of sleep because our immune system works the best when we are asleep.
Mm-hmm.
Because we don't have to prioritise any other functioning. We're not doing a workout. We don't need heaps of blood flow sent to our muscles and our arms and our legs. We're simply lying there, and it gives our immune system the time to grab some of that energy that's around and use that to getting rid of the bugs.
You'd think that'd be the easiest thing.
Yep.
Like food prep, you've got to go actually do something.
Yep.
Training, you've got to get to the gym. Sleep, you just got to fall over, really.
Pretty much.
Just knock yourself out.
Hopefully onto a bed.
Hopefully onto a bed and a pillow. But
Yeah. But most people, and especially in today's culture, we seem to have this real thing that we need to keep powering on. We need to work until 9 p.m. 10 p.m. We need to work, do all-nighters, that sort of thing to get the job done.
Job's done.
Yeah. And that's actually not proactive for our immune system, nor our stress levels, nor a lot of the other functioning of our body.
Yeah.
So we need to make sure that we are getting enough sleep. And the easiest ways to do that is to set up a routine. And our bodies absolutely love routine. They love going to bed at the same time every day and waking up at the same time every day. They like not being on your phone in the evenings or watching TV. We need to give our minds a little bit of a break before it goes into sleep mode. We need to also, as I said, not have those bright lights, but also not have them in our house.
Yeah.
So even for a really simple tip that I give most of my clients is that they go outside for 5 minutes of an evening before they go to bed and acknowledge that it's dark and kind of immerse yourself in the darkness.
I've been doing that. That's really good.
Yeah. It works so well, doesn't it?
Yeah, just hang out in a squat and just breathe fresh air and look at the darkness. It's beautiful.
Exactly. And then you can also do the same thing in the morning. And then that trains your brain when it should be asleep and when it should be awake.
Yeah.
Because our body is habitual. And so if you've been struggling with sleep and you wake up during the night or you find it difficult to get to sleep and you've had that problem for a really long time, then it's going to take a little while to break that habit. So we need to do things like that, kind of get into routine, do something relaxing before you go to bed. I had one client once who told me, she's like, I don't know how, I don't know what you expect me to do in the evening.
Yeah.
If I'm not watching TV and I'm not on my phone and you want my lights dimmed and she's going through all the things that I've recommended to her, and I was like, yes, I can see how that could be quite limiting. I was like, however, what can we do?
Yeah.
And we worked out that she could read her book that she enjoyed reading, her actual book, not her Kindle or anything like that.
Yeah.
A physical book, or she could have a bath and get her Epsom salts out and put them in the bath and get that magnesium and start relaxing her body down.
Yeah.
She could sit and have a cup of tea. She could talk to her partner. I know.
What a crazy idea.
I know. Who would have thought?
I think you've gone too far.
I know.
Should cut this video.
Stop. So doing things like that and actually getting yourself in the process of going to sleep.
Yeah.
Another thing that I recommend for a lot of my clients is that they brush their teeth earlier on in the evening.
Okay.
Not only does it stop snacking, which is
You're
quite
more
a
likely
good thing.
to have your partner talk to you.
That's a good point, true. But it's also that a lot of our bathrooms are quite brightly lit. And so if we were to brush our teeth earlier on in the evening, then when you get that wave of fatigue or like, I'm ready to go to sleep, you're then not going into your bathroom, turning on that light, waking yourself up again, and then trying to go to bed and lying there and completely awake. So that could be something, it could be a really simple tip that
Sounds
you
like
can
a
put
good
in. Yeah, so that's pretty much sleep, and there's lots of herbs that you can use for sleep. I really love herbal medicine in regards to sleep because it's really, really nice and calming without that kind of grogginess feel that can happen. There are definitely lots of nutritional supplements, so magnesium's quite good for that.
Yeah.
Obviously picking magnesium that doesn't have B vitamins in it because we don't want that energy boost right before we go to bed. There's heaps and heaps of supplements on the market. Just try and find one that's got a good name, that's a good quality, and if you are concerned, see a practitioner and get some help there.
And if you are struggling to sleep, a little bit of a helping hand's no big deal, right? It's going to be really important.
Exactly. It's really, it's quite a simple way to get some sleep, and the benefits are pretty ace.
Yeah.
If you can wake up and feel like you've had a refreshing sleep.
There's nothing like it.
Oh, the world's your oyster.
Yeah, I forgot what that was actually like until just a few months ago.
Yeah, it's absolutely incredible when you start each day with heaps of energy and you're ready to go.
Yeah, bizarre feeling.
It is, isn't it? Another thing that we always worry about when we talk about the immune system is gut health.
Yeah.
So I talk about gut health all day, every day. It's one of the things that I do, but it does link really closely to our immune system. And the reason for that is that predominantly, majority of our immune system lies outside our digestive tract. And that's because that's where most of the bacteria come in.
Right.
That's where all the foreign guys come in. Is mostly through our digestive tract. No matter how much you're making sure that you're cleaning your chopping boards and things like that, we are getting lots and lots of bugs through our food.
Sure.
Yeah, it's just happens. And so our gut bugs talk to our immune system.
Mm-hmm.
And so if our gut bugs are happy, then our immune system's going to be happy. So we're taking in all of this food, and our stomach acid works on making sure that it kills off a lot of the bugs, but bugs do make it into our intestines.
Yeah.
And that's why our immune system needs to be there to fight them off. In our intestines is where our gut bugs live, and we have tons and tons and tons of them.
Mm-hmm.
We have 2 kilos worth of gut bugs inside of us
Wow.
at any one time. Yep, it's a little bit terrifying, and there's more gut bugs than there are human cells. So we are just walking vesicles of gut bugs.
A bug.
Yep. So they rule the roost, and because our immune system and our gut are so close in proximity, that means they're talking to each other all the time, and they're sending messages to each other all the time. And if our gut isn't happy, it's going to send a message to our immune system that something's not right. And then our immune system's going to amp up its patrols be extra cautious,
Yeah.
and get ready for this apparent problem that may occur.
Yeah.
And then that's when we start to have issues with our immune system. So a lot of the time I work on the immune system via the gut.
Yeah. So how do we do that?
Through diet. So
Yep.
there's lots and lots of nutrients that you can have that support the gut. I make sure that we've got enough stomach acid and we're breaking down our food correctly.
Yeah. So is that like diet, like being a vegetarian, like that new documentary that came out?
No, we don't have to be a vegetarian. We can still keep eating meat on occasions.
We don't have to become a game changer.
No, we don't have to become
okay.
a game changer.
Gee, we're getting a lot of requests about that.
Are you?
Yeah.
Oh, maybe we'll have to talk about that. Yeah, we definitely got to support our gut health, and we can do that through whatever diet we're on.
Yep.
So for some people that can be a meat diet, for other people that can be vegetarian, for others that's vegan.
Yep.
Whatever diet you're on, there's definitely things that you can do to improve your digestive function. And some of the simplest things is, which I think we spoke about last time, was like making sure that we're watching the food being cooked and kind of starting the digestive process through our brains.
Yeah.
And so you're smelling food, you're seeing food, and like
having more of a relationship with it.
Yeah, definitely. And when you start to smell and see food, it makes you hungry.
It does.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's that stomach acid being produced.
Right.
And then that's getting ready because it knows that we're going to receive food soon. So it starts to release and sit in our stomach and get prepared for the food. So when it does arrive, it can be broken down so we can get the nutrients as quickly as possible. Whereas sometimes when we grab something out of the microwave or we go through a fast food...
Yeah. Well, you rip open the Mars bar, you haven't had time to really get all the juices flowing.
Exactly. And you don't have those juices, and therefore it hits your stomach, and your stomach goes, what's this? We weren't ready for this.
Yeah.
And yes, it's able to produce stomach acid out. Like, it's not going to sit in there for hours until that time.
Yeah.
But it just means that our digestive system has to work harder. And as I said, our immune system needs energy. So it needs lots and lots of nutrients. So we need to break down that food, especially when you're not feeling 100%, we need to break down that food as quickly as possible.
Yeah.
So our immune system has enough energy to fight.
Get back to healing.
Yeah, exactly. And that's why a lot of the time when you are sick, you feel like soups and stews and things like that, because the food's already been partially broken down.
Yeah, we're not even eating at all.
Exactly.
It just wants to spend all its time on healing.
Exactly. So, and we've broken down the food so we don't have to chew as much because soups and things have been blended and things like that.
Yeah.
But we're able to absorb those nutrients in a faster way and they're able to get to the immune system.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense.
Yeah. So it's like what our parents always told us, or our grandparents, whenever you're sick, you rest lots.
Yep.
Because when you rest, your immune system gets to work. You have your chicken soup, and that's because it's already broken down, but also you're getting the nutrients from that soup straight into your body. Your immune system can use them straight away.
Yeah.
And that's pretty much the way it works. So the nutrients that we really focus on in regards to the immune system are nutrients such as zinc.
Yep.
Which I don't generally recommend that most people take a supplement of zinc without having a consultation with a practitioner, because zinc in high levels or for too long can upset other nutrients in the body.
Okay.
So we definitely want to make sure that if we are going to take a zinc supplement, that we go see a practitioner.
Yep.
Because there's time limits and things like that, and also you might not need the zinc. So it's good to kind of go and get that checked.
Yep.
But you can always increase zinc-rich foods because they are whole foods and they're quite good.
Yep.
So generally animal meat contains a lot of zinc. If you want to go fancy, oysters contain a lot of zinc. Exactly. Pumpkin seeds, chia seeds, all of your legumes.
Yep.
So good wholesome foods. A few of the green leafy vegetables also contain zinc. But your nuts and your seeds, so foods.
But people don't actually eat pumpkin seeds, do they?
Yes, they do.
Yeah, right.
They're delicious. Sometimes called pepitas.
Yeah.
So yeah, they're really good. So zinc is definitely one of those nutrients that we really want to amp up if you are concerned about your nervous system, but to do it from a food basis.
Yeah.
Other nutrients that you can increase are vitamin C. And a lot of studies, so you might see on the internet that a lot of studies when you're sick say to have vitamin C. There's equally as many studies that say don't have vitamin C, that it only speeds up the process by about half an hour.
Oh.
So it depends on what studies you read and what research has been done, how big the study is, what infection they did have. But generally, vitamin C is in all our fruits and veggies. So if you're having a good whole food diet, you're getting enough vitamin C.
Okay.
And that's what we want.
Yeah.
We want to make sure that we're getting it. I know for me personally, if I am feeling pretty ordinary, I feel like vitamin C makes me feel better.
Yeah.
And that's all that matters to me.
Yeah, I go for oranges.
Yeah, oranges, strawberries, kiwi fruit are really high in vitamin C. Broccoli, cauliflower, cabbage, all the good stuff. Yeah, all the delicious stuff. So yeah, you can definitely increase your vitamin C rich foods. Vitamin D is another nutrient that we work on a lot when it comes to the immune system, which we get vitamin D from our sunlight.
Yeah.
So we need to make sure that we're out in the sun, obviously being sun smart, but we need to make sure that we're also getting enough vitamin D through exposure. So putting sunscreen on and then going out in the sun means that we're not getting the exposure to our skin. So it has to be sun to skin contact. So the easiest way to do that, and we don't need lots of it, we only need about 10 minutes.
Okay.
So it's about getting outside, getting your 10 minutes worth, and then going and being sun smart.
Yeah, maybe a 10-minute walk in the fresh air and
exactly.
the exercise and the gut bugs as well, the good bugs.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. Look, you're writing my formulas for me. But,
sign me up.
Easy. So it's quite simple to get your vitamin D. Just to make sure, obviously, we need a lot of vitamin D because in winter in Melbourne we don't absorb any vitamin D. Our UV rays aren't high enough.
Okay.
So we need to make sure in summer that we're really stocking up those stores.
Yeah.
Because our body stores vitamin D and we have to use that through all the winter.
Yeah, right.
So we need to make sure that we're getting regular exposure. So going out once a fortnight and going, yep, I got my 10 minutes of vitamin D. That's not enough, unfortunately. We need to do it every day.
Sure.
So yeah, that's another nutrient. Unfortunately, you can't get that much vitamin D from food. So mainly it has to come from sunlight exposure. Other nutrients that we use for the immune system include vitamin A, vitamin C, and vitamin E. And I like to call this vitamin ACE. Because it's ACE, and we want our immune system to be ACE.
Yeah, totally.
So vitamin A, vitamin C, and vitamin E are all immune system supporting. They're also all antioxidants, and which we know are good for our body. We know that they clear out and they grab hold of the bad guys and all the toxins and clear them out of our body.
Yeah.
So we want to make sure that we're getting enough vitamin A and vitamin E, because we've already spoken about vitamin C.
Yep.
So vitamin A is in our red and orange coloured fruits and vegetables. So your tomatoes, your cantaloupe, your pumpkin, your sweet potato. Capsicum.
Good.
Red ones.
Red ones.
Yes, definitely. So we want to make sure that our vitamin A levels are good, and also our vitamin E. And that's our pumpkin seeds again. We're back to the seeds and the nuts.
Yeah. What are we doing with these pumpkin seeds? Are we just eating them?
Yeah.
Straight out of the pumpkin?
No. The ones that you can purchase are green.
Yeah.
So
I've seen those.
Yeah.
You don't eat the ones out of the pumpkin.
Well, you have to roast them a little bit and
Okay.
break off the shell and eat what's inside.
Okay.
But you can roast them from the pumpkin. There
Yep.
will be heaps of recipes on the internet. I've never tried that.
Yeah.
I'll
let you know.
Yeah, give it a go and let me know. I'm too keen to just get that pumpkin in the oven so that I have some food to eat. And not worrying about all the rubbish.
Yeah, me
the
too.
waste. That goes in my compost bin. Feeding my worms. They're getting zinc as well.
More worms.
Exactly. So many worms. But they're probably my key kind of things for working on the immune system.
Yeah.
And we do worry about the immune system, especially when it comes to people who train a lot, is that they seem to get a lot of upper respiratory tract infections. So we want to so coughs, colds, runny noses, chest infections,
very
that
common.
sort of thing. Yeah. So we want to make sure that we're kind of keeping our immune system raring and ready to go, but not too trigger happy.
Yep.
And that we're not forgetting the little things that support our immune system along the way.
So if we want to get sick, we gotta get stressed out,
Exactly.
not sleep, go for shit food,
Exactly.
and what else?
And
Not go outside, stay inside,
Yep.
keep working,
Yep.
and not do any fresh air,
And not train.
and not train, and not exercise.
Yep.
Yeah, that's pretty much the recipe.
Yep. No, we want the opposite.
So
of
we
all
want the
that.
opposite of that.
Yeah.
Yeah, that sounds good.
So we want to lower our stress levels, we want to sleep really well, we want to eat good food,
Yeah.
we want to nourish our bodies, we want to exercise, we want to get outside.
I think a lot of people who make change come from that place, and they start with exercise or with food or with a change anyway.
Yeah.
And generally the food and exercise maybe come, and then it's adding in those other layers
Exactly.
to immune health.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And we only have to start with one thing at a time. You don't have to change your whole life overnight.
Yeah,
And by starting with one thing at a time, that becomes more of a habit.
I love it.
And then once you start to feel the benefits of that one thing, then you can increase to the next thing.
And you're more likely to stick with it once you actually
Exactly.
feel how good it is for you.
Exactly.
Mm.
Yeah. So winning.
Awesome, Nat.
Excellent.
Thanks so much for coming.
No worries. Thank you. Thanks for having me.
Thanks, guys. We'll see you, Nat, again.
See you.
Bye.
Bye.